Now we're live on Facebook and we're also live on YouTube at Love 101 FM Jamaica. Sign on, rock on, roll on, jump on, whatever you got to do. Just ensure that you are on the live. We'll be talking about something very important. And last week we started the discussion on dementia. Now, to help us understand it further is medical practitioner Cynthia Patterson, and she is a registered nurse and has been in the healthcare industry for over 24 years. She's adept with dementia. Yes, so she knows all about dementia and taking care of dementia patients. And she's very passionate about doing so. She also has a new nursing home, and it's called Mission Care Senior Living Nursing Home. And of course, they specialize in, dealing with persons living with dementia. And that is in Clarendon. All right, welcome back, Doctor. I can't say Doctor, no, it's nurse, but Dr. Cynthia Patterson. How are you?
A good day, Sarah. I'm doing great. I'm doing fine. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for asking. It's so good to have you back to explore this important topic.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. How common is dementia?
Well, dementia is very common. Statistics have shown that over 60% of elderly people are living with dementia. Some of those symptoms are hidden. It could be very mild. It could be the start of the onset of dementia. So probably it's not seen or it's not being picked up on by families or relatives. So yes, we could have people living among us with dementia, but it's not known, it's not seen, it's not evident yet. But some of the things that they do, some of their conversation, it does shows that they're getting the symptoms, the early symptoms of dementia.
And let me just say that this is part 2. Last week we had part 1 where we discussed what is dementia, the difference between Alzheimer's and dementia, and early signs and symptoms, and so on and so forth. So we're continuing the discussion with nurse Cynthia Patterson. All right. So as you heard, it's very common, and I'm seeing it become more prevalent in Jamaica, not just Jamaica, but the world. As you heard the statistics that my nurse Cynthia Patterson just said. So, we just have to educate ourselves on how to live with people and support people living with dementia. Yes. So, is dementia only for the elderly people?
Okay, we are seeing more younger people displaying the signs of dementia. Usually it was like older people in their 70s and 80s, but statistics have also shown that persons from 50 onwards, 65, they developed in mild to moderate symptoms of dementia. And it's coming more popular around the world. I'm sure some of the countries, I don't think they're educated enough to really identify the signs and how to deal with their loved ones with dementia. So this week, I want to talk a little bit about living with dementia, some of the things that you can do as a family, as a friend, just to make life easier and just to being able to communicate with someone who's living with dementia. Because, you have to live with it because there's no cure for dementia. I did say that last week. It can be, it's just there are medication to slow down the process, but there's no cure for dementia, sadly. And as we are, we are seeing more and more people are coming out with dementia. I think what happened in the past, it wasn't being diagnosed, it was being missed by other illnesses. But as we are newly developed, we are more educated, we are seeing the signs, and we are able to to discuss them, to talk about them, and to treat and support that individual with dementia.
All right, so we're going to go right ahead. I'm going to give you the floor so you can go right ahead and talk to us about, how we can live with persons living with dementia and the support that we can give them.
Right. As we know that dementia, it's some disorders that is going on in the brain. Um, it some of them is due to lack of blood supply, which is the vascular dementia. You have the Alzheimer's, which is a mixture, and that is the most common one. So I'm here to talk about, living with dementia, and how, as a family, a friend, what you can do to support your loved ones and to minimize, the stigmatization of dementia. So people with dementia, they often get upset, they become tearful, and they will get lost. They get lost in their own selves, they get lost in their mind. Sometimes, even with conversation, they're not able to communicate clearly and explain themselves. So, you, as the health profession, you, as the caregiver, as the family, as the friend, you know, some of the tools that we've used to communicate with them, it could be a chart. If they get really upset and the words are not coming out clearly, you could use a picture chart with like a cup of tea or with food, and you'd show the card to them, and straight away, if that's what they want, then the mood will just tone down. Would you like a cup of tea? So you hold the flip chart with the picture of a cup of tea, or if it's food, whatsoever it is. And people with dementia, especially female, they love soft toys. So maybe a soft teddy bear, maybe a doll. It's something useful that you could give to them, because it's a way of comfort, and they see that teddy or that doll as their company, as their friend. They will put that teddy bear to bed, they would put that doll to bed, they would wake that doll up, and they would also feed the doll. And that is their way of getting comfort. And there's nothing wrong with that. As long as they are happy, and, anything to keep them happy, and it's not harming them, then that shouldn't be a problem. Okay, so the other thing again about people with dementia is, some of them, they will wake up and they will get dressed and they would say, okay, I'm going to work. As a family member, they will put their lipstick on, they will put their makeup, their handbags, and everything, because they are living, they've got the long term memory. So they
Yeah.
do remember themselves as going to work. So they will dress themselves, put their clothes on. So what you could do as the individual, you could maybe get some newspapers, and you could like get a table and make up a desk and pretend as that area is their workstation. So they will sit there organizing the newspaper. For example, my aunt, she's got Alzheimer's, and she was a dressmaker. She was a very, very popular dressmaker in the community. And so what we do, we give her scrapsies of material. We don't
Yeah.
give her a needle, we don't give her any scissors, and she would sew all day. She would just use her hands. If you call her, auntie, come to the table. Oh, let me finish sew this, I'm coming. That's what she would tell you. And
Without the needle?
without no needle, she's used her hand, and that's enough for her. As long as she get the scrapsies. If she doesn't get the scrapsies, then she use the hem of her skirt, and she would use that, and she would tell you, yes, she's making a dress for someone, she's making a shorts for someone, you know, and that is it for her. That will make her comfortable. As
Wow.
also, you can get them to do the laundry. If the clothes are washed, you just give them their clothes. They could fold their clothes, and you assist them to pack it away. Those are the little things that you can do. I wouldn't recommend the kitchen, because the kitchen, anything could fall. You got
Yeah.
hot pots with hot water and stuff. So I wouldn't recommend the kitchen. Some of them, however, they'd want to come in the kitchen because they want to cook. you know some
Yeah.
people do entertain them with baking. If you can use them to make the dough and to do the mixture, and then to put the stuff in the oven, and that is as if that's heaven for them. They're quite happy with doing little things. for themselves. You don't take away their independence.
Yes.
You allow them to do the little things that they can do, and that will help them to pass their day. you know so
Yes.
music as well, music is a very good therapy for people with dementia. They love music, they love the beats, and they would just dance away. you know you could have conversation with them, you could ask them what kind of music. Some of them are able to tell you the kind of music that they like, and you play those music, and you could see them singing along and dancing to it. So music is a very, very, very good therapy for people with dementia. And television, some do like the television, some don't, because they see it as being bored, they're sitting down, and but music is one of the key elements of therapy for people with dementia. you know and
Yes.
also as well, dementia, it does progress through different stages. You have the mild onset, you have the moderate, and you have the severe. And that's what they class as the end stage of dementia. So the mild, often people do miss the mild onset, because then they would say, oh, mama is playing up, or mama is acting up. That goes missed. But those little signs, you see your loved ones being forgetful, they don't want to have a shower, they can't find where they put things, and things like that. Those are the signs of dementia. That's the
Yes.
very first sign of dementia. It's very mild, and sometimes it goes missed.
Unnoticed. Yes.
you know People will miss it and think, oh well, that's okay, it's old age. That's one of the things that they will use. It's a sign of old age. And so therefore, the right treatment and therapy that individual could get from the early onset, they've missed it. That would be missed. And early treatment or early therapy, it can prolong the process. It can slow down the process of dementia.
Yes.
So we look at the moderate side of dementia, is when they're getting confused, and they've lost their way. They keep saying, oh, I'm lost. They're wanting to go to their bedroom, and they can't find the door to go to their bedroom. you know
Wow. Yes. Wow. Ah, my. Now, quick question. If my mother or father has dementia, does it mean that I will develop dementia as well?
Not necessarily. I've never read anything that dementia is a generic or genetics traded. I've never heard anything that it can be through via genetics, but not to say that it's not. But I do believe that dementia is contribute a lot because of isolation, being on your own, stress. Those are the stuff that can bring on dementia. And as
Hmm.
I said, it's a range of disorders that goes through the brain. And at that time when and that's happening, we don't know what organs are being affected. you know
Yes.
what part of the brain is affected, and how well it's been treated, how well it's been, the therapy process, the early onset. If it's been picked up, then I do believe then that yes, we can slow down the process of dementia.
Thank you. Now, I know you have some rules of dementia, like things we ought to do and not to do in terms of questions, how we ask them. Can you go ahead and expound on those things?
Right. People with dementia, they don't like you to say no, it's not so, or it's wrong, or it's right. They might ask you, for instance, their parents might pass away decades, and they might say, oh, I want to see my mom and dad. Never say to them that your mom is dead or your father is dead. You could just prolong to say, oh well, How was your mother? What job did she used to do? You say things that would prolong and help them to expand their memory and what their parents used to do. And that will help them to feel better about themselves. Being able to remember, oh, my mom was a dressmaker, or my mom was a cook, and she used to cook
Yes.
this and she used to cook that. It does help them to explain and to expand on the things that their parents used to do. So
Mm,
you allow them, and you connect with them, you know s- because as an individual that their parents is past. But if you
yes.
should say no, then that it's going to they're going to be upset about it. So the best way to go about it is just to prolong with them and ask, questions. What did your mom was like? What did she do? Where did she work? And stuff like that. And that will help them to clear their minds and have a further discussion on what their parents used to do.
Mm, all right. Thank you so much for educating us. And on that note, talk to us about your nursing home now that you have in Clarendon and the number if we want to, have our loved ones, go to your nursing home.
Okay, Mission Care Senior Living Nursing Home was successfully started in January of this year. And at the moment, we've got five residents with us. We cater for nursing, general nursing care. We do respite service, and the respite service is, if, say, for instance, you're going away on a holiday and you need somewhere to leave your loved ones, it's
Yes.
okay to bring them. You could leave them there for, we normally say a minimum of 1 month, and to up to whenever. You leave them there, and they'll be taken care of, 24 hours care, in a comfortable environment. We have, it's a five-bedded home with the view to expand. So we've got female, we've got 3 rooms for female, and we've got 2 rooms for males. We
Mm,
also have 2 single rooms, which is occupied at the moment, because everyone does like their privacy. And
yes.
so the other rooms are shared facilities where you share with other residents. And so we do specialize in dementia care, and I do specialize in that area because when I looked and I saw the need in Jamaica, I made it purposely to specialize in that area to accommodate and to foster those people that are living with dementia. And I also do teaching. I do classes on dementia care,
Yes.
just to make everyone aware, just for the awareness, and that they know how to look after them.
Yes.
Um, and just to say that dementia it's a behavior, and it's not the person, it's the illness. So not to look as the person as, oh, you know not to shun them, because what they actually going through, they cannot help it. It's just an illness that they're going through, a phase where they just need support and help. you know and as a caregiver, you have to be patient, you have to be kind, and because some of them, they can be very abusive, they're verbally abusive, but then that's the dementia in them, because they wasn't like that before.
Yes. Well,
So I does go ahead.
no, go ahead. Finish up. You were
No, so
saying.
I do remind staff, just to take it lightly. Words doesn't kill, and as long as they're not violent, then just let them vent. Let them vent themselves, let them get over it, because sometimes that's a way of them to express themselves and to get over how they're feeling.
Yes, yes. What's the exact location and also the number to call?
Okay, the exact location is, we are in Tollgate, and that's opposite Fireside. There's a popular restaurant called Fireside, and there's a hotel called Bridge Palm Hotel. So we are just opposite there. And the numbers to call is 1876 324 3930, or 1-876-541-0144. And you could reach us on either numbers. One of the number is located at the home, and the other number I have with me whilst I'm away.
All right. So either number we call will get you or get through to someone. 876-324-3930 or 876-541-0144. Those are the numbers. Thank you so much, Nurse Patterson, for sharing again on this very important topic, dementia. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah.
All right,
Take
you're welcome.
care. Bye
Take care
bye.
as well. Bye bye. That's all the time we have for Body Talk. We just looked at dementia. So I hope that you learned a thing or two. And if you have a loved one with dementia or Alzheimer's, you'll know how to take better care of them. And you'll remember to be patient. And remember not to say no. So if they say they want to see, their mother or their father, who would have passed away, don't say they're dead. Just ask them, how was your mother? What was your mother like? What did she used to do? Yes. Hey, this is Love 101 FM. Just reminding you that this hour between 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. is sponsored today by Fosbridge Company Limited. Electrical lighting and solar energy people. Thank you so much. Jackie Coke says, I am learning so much from this. It's very interesting. Yes, I am learning a lot as well.